Hi, my name is Elfriede Hofer. I'm the Oma of Joshua and Audrey and Elizabeth. I was born in Germany in 1935 in Osnabrück in an apartment on the Augustenburger Straße. My mother used to tell me that it was very hot when I was born. And after a little while, my mother got sick when my sister Edith was born. She had nervous breakdown. I think it was postpartum depression. And she had to go to a psychiatric facility for over a year, where she got electric shock treatment. And I remember visiting her, and she was always crying. She wanted to go home. And we were just going from place to place. My dad had to go to work, and then I went to my aunt's, and then I didn't like it there. And I think I was about 2 years old, and maybe 2.5. And then I went from place to place, and finally I stayed at one family's home, which I really enjoyed. And Edith went to my aunt Minna and stayed there, and Leah went home with my dad, and she was 10, I think. Yeah, she stayed home with my dad. And when my mother came home, during the time that my mother was in the hospital, my dad built a house, and he had to they didn't have any any machines to dig the foundation. They had to do it all by hand with a shovel and a pickaxe, and it was a lot of work. But anyway, he did that, and he built a house, and it's still there, and my nephew Detlef lives there now. So then when my mother came home, we on Friesenweg, I had a very good neighbor. My girlfriend Gisela's parents were very nice people, and she had a grandmother, and I went over there a lot, and we played games, and we went for walks in the woods, and it was a very wonderful time. But we had to go to the shelter, I would say to the bomb shelter, every night. First, when the alarm went at night, we stayed in our basement, which was made into a shelter. And then later on, when it got really bad, they built a shelter in a big mountain, and we had to go every night, walk there every night. And my father worked in an ammunition factory, and we always asked my mother, "Where does Daddy?" No, we didn't say Daddy. We said Papa. "Where does Papa work?" And she said, "He works. You know where he works, and he makes milk cans." And we always wanted to know what he was doing, because he wouldn't tell anybody that they made ammunition. And then our house was bombed, and we went to live in a house that was built by the government for people who were bombed out. And it was a little house with 2 rooms, like a bedroom and another room where we had a stove and chair and tables, and then a bathroom, but no shower and no water.